There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more.
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Marvel Tribe. We are brought to you by the Walt's Apartment Podcast on DisInsider.com. My name is Shawn, and I'm joined by David. David, my friend, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm super glad to be back here. So.
Yeah, welcome back. And for those of you who don't know about the Marvel Tribe is something that David and our friend Chris used to started when we were all part of the DCast. So basically what we want to do tonight is we're going to talk about what the Marvel Tribe is, what we're planning on doing with the show, where we want to take it. But our big focus for the next probably 2 months will be WandaVision, which I have no problem with. If you all know me, I'm a huge WandaVision guy, or just Wanda guy, but it should be fun. So David, tell us about the Marvel Tribe, what it is, what we're going to be doing here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the Marvel Tribe, I mean, the concept of the Marvel Tribe was when Marvel was in the height of all their movies and stuff, and we noticed, it wasn't just for this we call it, seasoned Marvel comic book heads. Marvel was doing something really fantastic, which was bringing all peoples, all walks of life together to kind of enjoy this great experience that the MCU was giving us on the big screen. So me and Chris and yourself, we were kind of talking about this. It's not just the comic book fans and the movie fans and stuff. This is just all fans. I mean, we have people who've never seen or read a comic book in their life, thoroughly enjoying the what Marvel's doing and stuff. And so we wanted to kind of build this tribe of and give people this experience where we're not talking over their heads, of where you have to be some kind of expert and to participate or to listen to what we're talking about when we break down, Marvel properties, whether it's TV shows or movies or comic books or anything. You can be just, a regular, average, everyday person who just thoroughly enjoys the movies and the production that they offer. So, hence, born was the Marvel Tribe, which is all-inclusive term in itself. So it's everyone. So we include the experts to the novice and beginners. Shawn, yourself, you're a newer fan to the Marvel realm, and which is what I love about you. And Chris, between me and Chris, dude, we could knock out, we can rival the best experts out there and stuff outside of those who work at Marvel and stuff. But and Chris, rest his soul, he would be missed, but he absolutely would want the Marvel Tribe to continue. So this is why we're here. We're helping continue that legacy for him, and I'm excited to get started. I'm glad. It's been over 500 days since we actually had a Marvel property that came out, and so I think this is a great thing to start on, which is the Disney Plus WandaVision. And we're gonna do this every week, and we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier's coming. We have Black Widow. I mean, Marvel's gonna start ramping up here, and hopefully, we'll be able to keep pace and bring you guys some really fun and amazing content and stuff along the way. So I'm really excited about. For me, it's always about the hidden little things that I get to share with you guys and stuff, the Easter eggs, which, man, when we get into talking about WandaVision, there's quite a bit of Easter eggs and stuff in these episodes. I'm hearing feedback from all spectrums and stuff. Some were confused. There are some people who really loved it. There's people who just they didn't like it. They were expecting action, and if I know Marvel, like mostly anyone else knows Marvel, the action's coming.
Oh yeah,
so they're doing a build up. This is a very brand new type of I don't want to say this is a new mode. This is so Marvel has done spin-off shows before, but the connections were extremely loose to the MCU, the cinematic universe. They got rid of that. They are including everything. So their shows are going to be a little bit more catered and built towards that they're going to, what you see on the show is also going to be canon to what you see on the big screen. So with that, it's going to take a little bit of extra prep time, and the continuity has to kind of fit. So they have to kind of build in a TV show some of those little background pieces, which is what they're doing. So you'll see with some of these shows, you may get a slow start. I promise you'll get the action that you're used to seeing on the big screen and stuff, and you'll get even better because they'll be able to deep dive more into character arcs than they are in a 2.5 hour movie and stuff. Right. So I'm excited for it. This is a new genre was the word I was looking for of television and stuff, where it is directly correlated and related to what you see on the big screen, and I can't wait to bring it to you guys.
So let's dive into a little bit. When we talked about doing this show at first, we were going to call it WandaVision Wednesday because we were just going to do a 8-week episode. We were going to do an 8-week show, and then we kind of talked about it a little bit more and said, wait a second, there's so much stuff coming out with Marvel right now. Why don't we just bring back the Tribe completely? Like you said, Chris, it's what Chris would have wanted. Many people have said that to me. Many people, when you guys have this show, you both know everyone loved this. They loved both of your energy on this show, the details you guys put into stuff. I just sat there and recorded it and learned so much just from doing it. So, I mean, for you, I asked you when you want to do this, you said, do you want to host a guest, a co-host? And you said, yeah, I'm nervous as hell because I don't know anything about Marvel. So, I mean, but I think this is a good place for me.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place for me to start because I'm a huge Wanda fan and you all know that. So I think it's a great place to start for me to dive in all the stuff. And I've listened to some reactions and watched some theories over the weekend and we record this on Sunday nights. So I think we get right into the show. We hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to start off with episode 1 of WandaVision. David, go take it away, man. Starts off with a cool little,
the intros, I'm loving it. So it does the little Dick Van Dyke kind of in intro, and it shows a Vision carrying a newlywed she's in her wedding dress, supposedly supposed to carry her over the threshold, but the door's closed, and he as Vision does, he can phase through matter, so he phases, but she doesn't, so she falls on her butt. It's kind of reference to the Dick Van Dyke Show, where he kind of in the intro, the main star kind of fumbles over the furniture and stuff like that. But he comes back, picks her up, and then see there's that that loosely placed piece of furniture. There's here comes the tumble, and then he phases right through, and and everything's good. But that's how it kind of starts. I love how they kind of riff on the classics and stuff.
The first episode was actually filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Yes.
I thought it was just, what a great way. They used wires for all the effects and everything. Yep. So I thought it was great. That Elizabeth Olsen said that they were more nervous about doing that. They were doing one of the Avengers movies because there was people watching them and giving them live reaction to what they were doing. So I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Can you imagine the legal department, all the NDAs they had to sign?
She said
That's crazy. Yeah,
and it was done so long ago too. So everyone kept their mouth shut, which was good on them,
Which you don't go against Disney or Marvel, so.
Right? Yeah, that's not smart. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead, buddy.
No, unless you're Tom Holland and stuff, and even then. But so I loved it. It kind of the premise. It kind of started with there's this weird date that's kind of on the wall, and if you guys kind of pay a little bit attention to it, it was August. Is it August 23rd?
August 23rd.
And it's 2023. So even though it's set in the old, black and white picture and stuff, it's actually right after Endgame. So
did it say 2023?
Yes, it does.
I did not see that.
Dude, I have Zoom features and I have microscopes and all that stuff. So when I watch these things, because I know gonna pepper this with clues and Easter eggs and stuff. So yes, so this does take place right after Endgame. But the premise of the show was, it was surrounding like figuring out what the heart meant and stuff of the date and stuff. And so, and they both were kind of, hamming it up, playing off each other, trying to get the other person to, because they don't know, and so they're trying to, or they forgot, and they're trying to get the other person to spill the beans of what the special date is and stuff.
Like a classic 50s show too. I mean, just that kind of funniness back and forth. Like, you tell me, no, you tell me. Just
Of course I know. I mean, but do you know?
Exactly.
So
so well.
And then and so Vision, he transformed himself to look more like a human being, so he can go off to work. And he goes off to work in a way. He works on the computation company that just prints forms so they can be more efficient at the forms that they print. And Vision is he's a walking human computer and stuff. So he's obviously the best employee that they have there and stuff. But yeah, it was right there. That's when the moment that you realize his boss, which is Mr. Hart, comes into play, which he will absolutely be a more of a prominent figure here.
Oh, you think so?
Well, most definitely. I'm not going to spoil anything, but yes, he will be. So, and Mr. Hart comes in. It's like, yeah, hope you're ready and stuff. For the host, me and my wife, it's kind of a rite of passage for the new employees. So right there is like, oh, this is a brand new job. This isn't, picking up in the middle of all this is, kind of a brand new place for Wanda and Vision. And so it's like, oh, Hart, that's what that was. Meanwhile, at home with Wanda's friend Agnes, who we can. So there's a lot of speculation, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you separate Agnes, you have Attica Harkness and stuff, which is the witch who was one of Wanda's mentors, and it's a part of the Doctor Strange world. But I'm not going to get too detail into that. There's a little funny little thing about the brooch that she always seems to wear, which they're purposely not revealing. It makes it hard for you to kind of zoom in on it, but they will reveal why she actually wears that. But I think it's probably safe to say that she's definitely one of the main characters. She's always around when Wanda kind of needs her and stuff for help, and it's not a huge leap to think she's Agatha Harkness and stuff, but right now she's just Agnes and stuff. So so anyway, so her and Agnes, they're sitting on the couch, glamming it up, Glamorous magazine. For those of you who don't know, glamorous is another terminology which is in the world of witchcraft, which means to glamour someone, to transform, to change something and stuff. So that was a kind of nice little ode to that. They had like Glamorous magazine in this show. They're talking about like, oh, it must be an anniversary and stuff, and so that's the route that they're going with the hearts on the calendar. Meanwhile, we all know that it's actually you have the bosses over for dinner and stuff. So this is how you kind of do your traditional comedic setup and stuff. You have one party going one route, the other party is gonna go the other route, and then they're going to meet in the middle, which is what they do. And I think it's pretty classic sitcom fashion, where the hearts come over for dinner, and Wanda kind of comes out in this nice, nightgown and greets Mr. Hart by blindfolding him and saying, "Guess who?" Which shocked Mr. Hart, and I thought that was pretty funny. And again, mind you, this was shot in front of a live studio audience and stuff, and so they really worked on getting the kind of the comedic timing down. Both of these actors, Olsen and Bethany aren't they're not strangers to comedic roles or anything of that. They're very seasoned actors and stuff, and I think they delivered very, very well playing that timely, old-fashioned kind of roles with the vernacular, the setting. I mean, it really was. If I didn't know anything about the show, I really thought I'd be watching like a Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really, really good. I love Mrs. Hart, fan of hers from the 70s show, and I'm failing to remember her name. She's a great actress. She also plays those timely roles, and she's a great comedian. She's amazing, and she's funny. But yeah, there's that first episode was just, it was around that special date, and that which turned out to be the dinner for the bosses and stuff, which kind of turned into a disaster. Agnes came over to help with the dinner prep, and that turned out to be a disaster.
Sure.
Chaos actually is what the boss said, and it really is. Her Scarlet Witch, for those who don't know Wanda, her magic powers is called chaos magic. She doesn't always have full control over her magic, so chaos seems to kind of bring itself about. Now, with that said, you got to experience that with the dinner. She was not able to kind of really get what she wanted to kind of get done and stuff, and so the more frustrated she got, it's like she burnt the chicken, right, and she tried to undo the burn, and the chicken turned into eggs. The twin lobsters flew out the window and stuff when she got startled and stuff. It was just a kind of a nightmare and stuff for them. But what else happened? Because I really want to get into breaking out some Easter eggs and stuff. So there was the commercial. You remember
I have a couple. I was going to ask a couple questions.
Sure. Yeah, let's do this.
Because it's probably easier for me to ask questions, so I can actually understand it.
Yep.
So the first commercial that we saw was the one with the toaster that can cook meatloaf and everything. And then what I noticed by it, being a novice at this, was that it was made by Stark Industries.
Yes.
Now, from what I've been told by many people, I have not seen all the Marvel movies, but I guess Tony Stark's family has a huge impact on Wanda's family, correct? So that is a big reason why that was Stark Industries on that one for sure. I'm assuming, correct?
Correct. In a roundabout way. I mean, Stark Industries is the reason why Hydra kind of is the counter, and as we know, Strucker is who was part of the engineering of that program that the twin orphans, Wanda and her brother, was a part of and stuff, and where they're kind of Hydra is kind of harnessing their powers and stuff to take on Stark and his mighty Avengers and stuff. So in a roundabout way, there is some connections and stuff there. Yes, absolutely. Including with the second commercial and the next episode is one of the Watch.
The Watch,
is the Hydra Watch, which is a Strucker. Strucker, I always mess that up. Watch and stuff as well. So yeah, there is some connections and stuff there. Okay. You gotta pay attention to. So I would like to get into so let's talk about a few things you guys kind of might have missed. Those who are, there's some seasoned, vets to Marvel, and then there's some brand new people to Marvel. So let's talk about they talk about there's some Easter eggs that I want to kind of go over with you guys.
Yes,
so
please
go ahead.
I said, please. That's what I'm waiting for.
Throughout the episode, I was kind of noticing that even though it was kind of this old 60s kind of sitcom and stuff, there was a lot of twin references, a lot of twin imagery throughout the episodes, and actually continued on to the next episode as well. And I actually, I broke out my notepad because that's kind of how I tend to watch some Marvel movies when I'm home. And I started kind of picking up, and I want to kind of go over with you a few of the things that I kind of noticed. So do you want to do it?
Do you want to do it now? Or do you want to go through the episode and do everything together? How would you like to do it? You want to go through both episodes first, or do you want to do it now? You tell me however you want to handle it.
Let's go through both episodes. Okay. I'll come back to the Easter eggs.
I think let's do the Easter eggs at the end. Make everyone wait. A couple more things. The questioning when they're at the table, when the Mr. and Mrs. Hart are questioning them.
Oh yes.
We didn't touch on that, but and then he starts to choke. Yep. Did she make him choke?
No.
Okay, because I thought maybe she made him choke.
Nope. So this is a part of the chaos here. So this is where you're starting to realize that Wanda doesn't have, because we all kind of walk into this thinking that this is part of her imagination or her thing. Like she has control over this. It's her perfect cookie cutter thing. And him choking was actually the first time you actually get to see Wanda break character. Like she's sitting there, she's trying to maintain this kind of pretty housewife kind of, and you hear the Mrs. Hart on repeat saying, stop it, stop it,
Right.
stop it. And she can't maintain character. She can't keep the illusion going.
Mm-hmm.
So you see her voice actually changes, and she tells Vision,
right,
Vision, help him.
Yeah.
She broke out of the fantasy. Vision saw that, got up, and then did what Vision does. He pulled out the obstruction that was choking Mr. Hart. Now, as you saw after that happened, Mr. Hart got back up, and then they immediately snapped back into the sitcom character mode. Everyone
like nothing happened, which I thought was odd.
Correct. Yep. It was a great dinner. Shook their hands. Say, hey, I'm glad. Thanks for the invite. Monday
promotion.
We were talking about the promotion. I mean, it just went right back to the nice, perfect little world and stuff. But we got to see a piece of that. This is not fully controlled by Wanda, which I thought was really, really revealing, and really I loved it. So it showed that, and there's other pieces and stuff to it. Like there's a radio. There's a couple of radio scenes that you'll see in both episodes where you'll hear them trying to communicate with Wanda and stuff, and you can tell that she's not like. I think so. Here's my premise on that. I really think that we're not sure what the setting is. We're not sure if Wanda's on the sword base, which we'll talk about, or if Wanda is in like some neighborhood that is protected by her vision and her magic or whatnot. But we know that some people from the outside of where she is trying to communicate with her, and it's kind of throwing things a little bit off her. Like she's not sure how to respond to that and stuff. So, but we'll get to that piece a little bit later. So the first episode ends with that, them, the bosses, thanking them, hey, promotion for you. Everything kind of just worked itself out. You had that little small break from reality where, Wanda broke character and became the real Wanda, and had Vision help them out. And then when it ends, which I find it kind of interesting, also that it does that classic kind of sitcom ending where kind of the shadow kind of closes out.
Yeah.
But
I Love Lucy.
But the difference is, it actually closes out to look like a hexagon. Yeah, that's something we've never seen, and there's more stuff to the hexagon stuff, especially with Scarlet Witch. Some of her, she has these powers, which are called hex spheres. They're hexagon spheres that she shoots, part of her long range weapons and stuff that she has. But sorry, I can talk in nuance and circles. So I'm going to move on to the next episode, which the opening
what about? I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you, but what about the very end when the guy's sitting there watching the show, basically? Can you hear me?
Oh, when it zooms out.
When it zooms out and it's a color all of a sudden, and there's a guy there like taking notes.
Yeah, so that one, so I have a theory on that. One, I think it's a woman that's taking notes. She's tasked with taking notes. But yeah, we see references to Sword.
Which I need you to explain to me later, because I don't know what sword is at all. So you need to explain that to me later.
So Sword is kind of the bigger version of Shield, except for they're more galactic. So their sword stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division, which is what we saw at the end of it wasn't the end of End Games, where it was where Nick Fury was doing his vacation. So in the Spider-Man 3, in the Spider-Man 2, Homecoming, where he's vacationing, and then there's that whole screen that kind of disappears, and he gets up and he's walking around. He's on a sword base. That's that's orbiting planet Earth, and their job is to respond to intergalactic and alien kind of threats to our planet. So we see references to Sword. We see their logo and a lot of things. The helicopter. We see it in the notepad, the person taking notes. We see it on the TV monitor as they zoom out, watching the WandaVision show and stuff.
Right.
We see those references. So that's what Sword is.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So they're definitely someone you're going to see a lot of in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So and also for those who don't know, in the next episode here, we're going to be introduced to Monica Rambeau, who is the daughter of Marie Rambeau, who was which is Captain Marvel's best friend.
Right.
So she's obviously grew up. I think she's a Sword agent, and she introduced herself in the show as a Geraldine.
Geraldine, I think,
Yeah, Geraldine. So, and she was kind of struggling to kind of put that together. So, I think what happened, and I don't know. We can talk about that towards the end as to why I think this is more real for some of the people who come into Wanda's vision versus this is just a front that they're pretending, because I think they're really a part of what's going on inside of that world that's been created for her.
Okay.
So anyway, so episode two. So episode 2, it opens up with the Bewitched kind of theme.
Yep.
You get to, which I love that they're picking these different themes, and they're changing the opening credits and stuff for it. But in the Bewitched theme, you see Samantha, I believe is Bewitched's name.
Yeah.
She's on her broomstick, and she's flying. Well, you see Vision and Wanda, they're flying through the air. There's the moon, the famous moon, and then the stars. Well, if you pay attention, the stars are nicely patterned around the moon like a hexagon. Some people miss that. It's just one of those things that I just kind of geek out on and stuff. No, not me. So there's a little hexagon pattern of stars are around the moon and stuff. And then you see Wanda and Vision kind of floating through the air, flying through the air, and then it opens up on the Bewitched fashion and stuff.
Absolutely. So good stuff.
So the premise of this one is actually kind of interesting, because it's really focused about the kids, the children. Now, the children, which we see no children in either of the episodes and stuff, but is a big, it's a big premise, for the kids, Yeah. So, Wanda ends up having to go with Agnes to this neighborhood watch, this organ, I don't know, what do you call it, PTO?
It's like a PTA meeting kind of thing.
It's like a PTA meeting. At her next door neighbor's Dottie's house. And I say next door neighbors because her address is 2800, and then Dottie's is 2802.
Did you really notice all this stuff?
Dude, yeah. I mean, so I don't know.
I love it, man. This is
I'm geeky.
Awesome.
I'm geeky this way and stuff. So yeah, so it's her next door neighbor and stuff, Dottie and stuff, that she ends up walking over there with
Dottie's all. Going to be bad, huh?
Yes, yeah. So maybe Dottie's gonna be mad. I have my suspicions about Dottie and stuff. I think she has something more to do with the devil than being
we'll
led
get into
on.
that for sure.
But so anyway, before they actually take the little venture off of there and stuff, I love the interaction between Agnes and the mailman, which I'm not 100%. So if somebody out there who's listening can confirm this for me, I'm gonna go back and watch it anyway. I think he has a shield. I'm sorry, not shield, sword logo on his mailman outfit.
Oh, really?
But I'm not quite sure. But they have a little Agnes and him has a little interaction where she she does the shoot guns with him and all that fun stuff, and then she checks him out from the back and stuff. Which
right? Can I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So real quick, when the episode started with the bed scene, when they were both in bed, and was that the helicopter crashing? Is that what they heard?
Oh, let me turn that off. Oh, my alarm. Sorry.
Time's up.
No. So Well, yes, that was the helicopter crashing, but they believed it was just the branches on the window and stuff. That's how they kind of.
Because she looks back, and sees and looks out the window and says, "Wait a second." She's holding the helicopter. I'm thinking, okay, yeah. So it's probably spying on them. Is that
yeah. So for some reason the Ford helicopter managed to somehow get into this world, and then and it ended up getting converted into a toy helicopter. There's some theories, and it could be. One of my theories was that that helicopter brought Monica Rambeau into to the neighborhood and stuff.
Okay.
But that's just me. I'm just having that little theory. But yeah, so when it opens up with the whole, I love the twin bed reference and how they kind of slid those together to be one. But like I said, there's a lot of twin references in both of these episodes here. I'll tell you at the end why that's very significant. But so they hear the noise, and Vision pulls off the classic kind of Dick Van Dyke kind of scared, and it's Wanda who be the quote unquote the timely man of the house to go check out the noise and everything else and stuff, and then find out it was just kind of a branch on the window, and that's what they convinced themselves of, and then that scene kind of overs from there. So the next day, that morning, she kind of goes out and she finds the helicopter. Now, I'm gonna actually spoil one of my Easter eggs and stuff because I'm right here at this part.
Let's go.
When she pulls up the helicopter, which is in this nice little crimson and gold kind of, it's got the Iron Man color.
Iron Man. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, and it has the you see the shield, I keep saying shield. It has the sword insignia on it. It has the number 57 on it. But if you pay close attention, like I do,
like you did.
And back to my whole twin imagery, you can see the Roman numeral 2 painted on the door on the side. So right there in the bottom corner, 57, but you see the big Roman numeral 2 referencing twins as well. So I was like, oh, wow, boom, there it is again and stuff. And then right there, that's when Agnes kind of pops up and is like, oh, the star of the show is here. Now, you think she's talking about Wanda, and then she pulls up her bunny rabbit, which we see also again throughout the show. We actually see twin rabbits if you pay close attention. But she pulls up the bunny rabbit, and she's like, "Oh, this is the star for the magic act that you guys are going to be working on and stuff." And so the premise of this episode is the talent show that they're going to be raising money for the elementary school for the kids. It's all for the kids, even though we don't see kids playing in the streets or kids anywhere. We don't see kids anywhere. So, but anyway, so you see the rehearsal for the magic show and all that fun stuff, between the two about, how the props are very kind of almost cheesy and purposefully revealing. They don't want to give, Wanda especially doesn't want to give anything away about magic. So they want to make sure that you see when, the person disappears, the spinning door kind of gives it away. They want to, so they're not really trying to perfect their act. They're just trying to make it so it's a little obvious that it's fake.
A little believable.
Yeah. This is all an act. It's fake. There's no real magic and stuff. There's behind the scenes and stuff. So that's the the thing that they're going to do. And so with that said, let's go back to the neighbor's Dottie's house where they have the PTA, where it's just the girls, and this is where Geraldine, aka Monica Rambeau, introduces herself to Wanda. And and you have Agnes there, who I love. She's kind of the snarky commentary one there. You see this nice lady who's kind of giving the rundown on the thing she brought for the show and how it's prepared. And then Dottie, in her evil fashion, Karenistic ways, talk about what happened to the chairs, and it's like, well, I forgot about the chairs and stuff. And she made that little slide off the off the cuff comment, which I think is going to be very important later. She's like, "Well, the devil's in the details." And then
I've heard that's going to be huge. That comment.
Yeah, and then Agnes leaned over and says, "That's not the only place the devil is in."
Right.
That part is going to. We're gonna come back to circle that wagon a little bit later in future episodes and stuff. But this is where people start kind of talking about Mephisto and, which is the devil of the MCU and stuff. And so there's these little tiny little nuggets that these two episodes are delivering for us. Now, while she's at this PTA meeting, Vision decides to go where the fellows are meeting, which is in kind of like this little library, like boys club and stuff, and he just kind of invites
the neighborhood watch, I believe it was.
The neighborhood watch.
That's what they were calling it, but it wasn't that.
Yeah. So he, so they, they're eating, snacks and just gossiping. Yeah, they're just gossiping about the neighborhood, everything, what's going on in the neighborhood and stuff. And so, so Vision's like, I'm just going to invite myself, and he partakes and stuff. And they're all just kind of telling juicy gossip. So Vision decided that I'm going to accuse the neighbor here of being a communist.
Yes. That was awesome.
And so, everyone kind of laughed at that, but, it was absolutely kind of that Hydra kind of not Hydra and the area where Wanda and stuff grew up at and stuff. So, but anyway, so they talk about that and stuff, and then another piece of detail, and also keep this in mind too. All the color that you see, the color imagery that you see in these episodes, when things start to turn to color, there's a prominent color in it.
Oh yeah,
Mephisto's red, because he's the devil. So with Dottie's hands bleeding, when the radio comes on and they're asking, help me Wanda, and they start talking to Wanda and kind of almost breaking that reality piece, and Dottie shatters the glass and she's bleeding red. The helicopter crimson, red on that as well. When they offer Vision a stick of gum, it's big red. Yes, it's big red and stuff. So there's a lot of there's these subtle little tidbits and stuff that are peppered throughout these episodes and stuff. It's definitely worth you going back and just rewatching just to kind of see and pick up on some of these things and stuff. So anyway, he ends up taking Vision back to the guys in the neighborhood watch. He takes the gum, and even though he doesn't eat and he doesn't need to eat, he chews the gum, and we see this kind of really cartoony, like health PE class that you see those old cartoon kind of tiny videos of, it's going down his esophagus into the gears of his internal organs, and it gets stuck. Now, we all know that Vision is a very complex, created, a sentient being. The gum would just phase away, but this is not his reality. This is someone else's reality. Not even going to say this is Wanda's reality. So it gets stuck, and the result of it getting stuck is him kind of acting like this kind of drunk form of himself. So now we kind of fast forward over to the talent show, and we, Wanda's backstage with Monica and Rambeau, and she's pacing, and she's like, I don't know where Vision is. I don't know how we're going to go, and where he's late. And he ends up showing up kind of staggerly and looking like a hobo, and he's dressed up in his magician outfit and stuff, just kind of stumbling around. And so then they go on stage, and he's just out of it. He's kind of, I was going to say half A in it. I don't know if I can, but he's just kind of, going through something, the emotions and stuff. And he does this card trick with Herbert. Yeah, Herb. And if you notice, he flashes some interesting, I'm not going to spoil this one. This one you guys are going to have to go look at. He flashes some cards that I think is pertinent to some of the Easter eggs and stuff that you'll see here. But Anyway, so he flashes some cards like, is this your card? No. Is this your card? No. Is this your card? And he just kind of goes through the whole deck and stuff. Then he finally lands on the card, and he doesn't care about the gag anymore. He's like, yeah, that's my card. He's like, here, fine, take your card. And it's like, well, the trick worked. I mean, he wants Herb wants to play his part, but right. Vision is like, he's just out of it, and so he's like, I'm moving on to the next thing and stuff. And then Vision kind of accidentally flies, he levitates. And so Wanda, who is trying her darndest to kind of keep things together, so she decides she has to use her magic to kind of help. Right. Make this more believable and stuff, because she doesn't want to freak out. People are starting to freak out. You see him levitating, and they're like really shocked. Even Agnes, which is funny because she has kind of a weird. If you look at her reactions compared to everyone else's reaction is like, "What am I seeing here?" Hers is kind of like, "What are you doing?" Like,
right.
Like, why are y'all doing this? So, but anyway, she, Wanda creates, she makes the little rope and pulley thing. So, and it looks, and then the guy points out, oh, hey, I see the string. Right. Yeah, he's floating there. And then the piano, which I love the interaction with the piano part. Because so when he picks up the piano to demonstrate the feat of strength, and then Wanda comes over to take it, and it transforms into a cardboard piece.
Right.
The guy in the audience that looks like David Schwimmer from Friends.
He's the communist.
I can't. I saw Friends.
That's what I thought it was David Schwimmer. Honestly,
I'm not gonna lie, I did too for a moment. I was like, wow, this is either David Schwimmer or his stunt double.
Right.
But I'm glad he's working. That's all I can say.
I think it's the same guy that got fired by Mr. Hart too.
Yes, it is.
It's the same guy. Okay, Joe.
Yeah, the guy who wore the turtleneck.
Yeah.
Being a beatnik
and had a 5-course meal, and it wasn't good enough.
Exactly. Yes.
But breakfast is, so that's okay.
So he just can't catch. That dude can't catch a break. So he watched the piano gets taken away. He's like, that's my grandma's piano. So for him, the illusion kind of broke a little bit because of his reactions. Like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not right. That's mine.
I thought a really cool nod to, like you said, Bewitched was every time that she would do a trick, she would like twinkle her fingers in and go, from Bewitched, she'd make that little tinkle sound like or whatever it was. I thought that was great. Just like, I mean, we're older, so we both. I used to watch Bewitched, so I remember that show. So I mean, that's so I thought it was just that I think the execution on that stuff and the spot onness of the way the shows were back then was it was flawless. So sorry. Go
on. I agree.
Piano, go ahead.
So and then the last one was he phased the hat through his body, and then she threw out she revealed behind the curtains is all magnification, smoke and mirrors. You guys didn't really see the hat move through his body and stuff. So they end up winning the talent contest and stuff, and they ended up the scene that I really kind of like, because this is the piece that I've been waiting for. It's a little early for me to get excited for, but I'm gonna share this piece of when they're on the couch and they're talking about doing it for the kids. This is for the kids, and then the kids was the biggest premise, even though we see no kids. And then she made that reference like, well, I'm gonna get some popcorn for the kids, and it didn't make sense until she stood up, and it shows that she's pregnant.
Right.
So she was obviously talking about getting herself some popcorn for her kids. Now, she could have absolutely easily said, I'm going to get popcorn for the kid, but she does reference kids, plural, like, she's having twins. Mm-hmm. And that part, for those who don't know, and they take from a lot of the premises from House of M, from the comic book series and stuff, we know that, she gives birth to these twins, twin boys, who are, it's Wiccan and Speed, and these are essentially would be considered the introduction to mutants to the world. So I'm really excited to see how this piece developed, because this is the beginning. I think when we get well into phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're going to point to this particular part of the scene, like this is the beginning. This is kind of where it kind of started. Now they could this is Kevin Feige Productions. They can make this into any way they want. It could have nothing to do with the introduction of future X-Men or mutants or anything else, and it can just be this whatever. But when I saw that, I'm like, yes, this is definitely going to be that. So they're going to, I think, the twins are going to be a huge piece to the introduction of mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm just excited for this. So, I love and it actually kind of closed out all of the twin referencing from the from all of the from the episodes and stuff. So let's actually talk about the Easter eggs and stuff and why the twins are going to be.
You want to talk about the ending real quick with the guy coming up from the ground?
Oh yeah. So
then it switches to color, obviously. So at the very end.
Yep. No, absolutely. So they
keep you on track, though.
Go ahead.
I'm here to keep you on track.
I appreciate it, dude. You're perfect. That's why I couldn't do this by myself, because I would just sit here and just talk and go in circles and tangents. So the ending would they hear the noise and they go outside, and it kind of has this ominous kind of detective story kind of scenery.
It's been like a horror movie almost.
Yeah, it does. And you see in the far part of the street the sewer top, or what do you call the sewer? Yeah, kind of starting to move.
Manhole cover.
Manhole covers and stuff starts to move, and then you see a guy kind of climbs his way out. He's wearing a beekeeper suit. Now, on the back of his suit, you see the insignia of sword,
right?
And see him stand up, and you see all these bees kind of flying around him and stuff. Now, there's rumors that they say that this is Swarm. I'm gonna say no, it's not. No.
Sam wanted me to ask you that.
No,
she wanted because she thought that she thought that for sure. That's
first of all, Swarm is one of the most weirdest characters in the Marvel universe. I'm not sure why they would ever introduce him. I don't even. He's just a very weird, obscure character and stuff. I don't think it's. I think it really is. It has more to do with how Sword is getting into Wanda's vision than it has to do with that character. And as you know, the actor who actually plays that character was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was a tactical agent in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Can't remember his name. I'm bad with names anyway. But I think it's more about how he came out with the bees covering him in the bee suit and the protective gear and stuff like that, than it is that he's a new bad villain or anything else. Now, granted, with that said, after he comes up and he does that look back and stuff at her, and she says no, which is extremely powerful. I mean, so her power is designed to protect her. And so when she said no, it rewound time just like that. And it put them back right where they're in a happy place where she was pregnant and all is well and stuff. So she, if you guys notice, like in those who are comic book fans, in the House of M, she utters that famous phrase, "No more mutants," and eliminates like 98% of all the mutants just by uttering that phrase. Just that little whisper shows how powerful the Scarlet Witch is. So when she said no, it just undid all of that. So when you guys go forward in these episodes, I'm pretty sure that scene no longer exists. That scene does not exist and stuff. And we'll see more and more of those. I think we'll see more and more of these non-existence as she tries to kind of keep her role in place as she really wants to be with her and Vision and stuff. And because of that, we'll see a lot of trouble and some chaos, and there's consequences to that magic and stuff like that, which we'll also, I think, we'll see in later episodes and how that unfolds. I really don't think, and I'll admit if I'm wrong, no one really knows but the script writers and stuff if that guy is a pivotal character. He is a super villain. Right. If he is Swarm, which will be weird, but It is what it is. What it is. It could be, but I don't think it is. I think it's more to do with her and her response to that event than it is with the guy.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So yeah, that's leave it with that part.
So it ends out they everything turns. They switch the color because the next episode's obviously going to be in the 70s now.
Yes.
So okay, so you've been talking about these twins and these numbers. So I'm gonna let you have the floor and you tell me all your Easter eggs now.
All right, so let's talk about the
real quick before you say that. I want to say one more thing to you. You just said, that when she stopped everything, it takes her back to this is not how Wanda's vision or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've read a lot of stuff and heard a lot of stuff that this whole thing is just a dream of hers. Do you believe that at all, or that this is a dream? And when you said 2023, that actually makes sense to me now because that kind of brings that more back. So. You do your stuff. I'll think of some more questions. I have a question. So
here's the thing. So Wanda doesn't dream like you and I. A vision. So we assume. So this is just my theory. So we assume WandaVision is really about Wanda and Vision. But this could absolutely just be Wanda's vision. So and her vision is a pocket reality that she created. And we don't know. I mean, if this is a dream, this is a very realistic manifested dream that she created in a whole other universe and stuff because she really didn't want to lose the love of her life. Vision, it could be less about Vision, the character, and more about Wanda's state of mind, Wanda's vision. So take it as you will. I don't think it's made up. I think what happens here is going to have real life consequences in the MCU. In fact, we actually know that they told us that
we're told that. Yeah.
What happens here is going to affect what goes on with Doctor Strange and in Doctor Strange's next movie that's coming out. There's going to be a direct
relation. This is the start of Phase 4. That this show is the start of Phase 4. So.
Yeah, you can actually say. Yeah, you can absolutely say that. So
hit me with your Easter eggs. Let's go.
No. So with that, it's not a dream. What is happening absolutely is will have real world consequences and stuff. For that's setting up Phase 4 and stuff for Marvel. Mm-hmm. Now with the imagery piece, there's the twin thing. I want you guys to kind of check out if you guys decide to rewatch it and stuff. You'll see a lot of things in pairs. Now a lot of people will dismiss it because they would think like, well, it's old time. Maybe that was a kitsch thing, to have twin lamps and the twin beds that are next to each other with the twin painting. But there's a significant amount of twinning, as I would say, that's going on. So the first thing that I noticed, and I think it all alluded to her having twins, but the first thing I noticed was their address. So it's 2800. And so obviously the 2 and 2800 is 2 for a pair for twins. But what people don't know is the 8. The 8 actually it's a sideways infinity, and it represents burning twins. You can look it up for yourself. Everyone has Google, free to educate yourself. But it represents burning twins, and then obviously the double O's. The OO is also twin. So that for me, that was my first kind of Easter egg of the twinning that's happening here. They have the twin, so like even so small things like the lobsters, they had the twin lobsters and stuff.
Right.
That was referenced in there, the twin furnitures, and the commercial, the mini commercials that they had, like with the toaster. It was the twin pieces of toasted bread and stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting in itself because you put these organic things inside the toaster, which is made by Stark Industry, and you get your toast. And we all know that Vision's made by Stark Industries. He's a product of Dr. Stark, and we have the twins. So I don't really want to go off on a tangent there, but I just thought it was kind of humorous that you have an appliance that's producing twins. So yeah, and then I told you guys when we're talking about the episode 2, the helicopter doors. If you really, when she picks it up and you see her turns it to the side, you'll see painted the Roman numeral 2. on the door. Makes it looks like it's a door, but it's actually the Roman numeral 2. So that's, those are, and there's a lot more twinning that you'll see going on, like the twin pots, the pictures. There's the twin pictures. There's, even with the button ups on some of the people's shirts and stuff, it's just like 2 buttons and stuff. So
it even said Vision's tie, I guess, was there was some significance about his tie. Did you notice any of that?
Yeah, I tried to. I was taking notes like a madman, and I did notice there were some things with his tie. I don't know what it was, because I wasn't really paying attention to that. I watched this like several different times for taking notes for several different reasons. But I did miss the one on the tie. So audience or whoever's going to listen to this, feel free to kind of chime me in on this. I'll probably find out before this airs on Wednesday and stuff, because there's probably some more stuff that I missed. But,
so you want to hear my theory on the twins?
Yes, please.
Elizabeth Olsen's sisters are twins.
They are, yes, the Olsen twins.
Boom! Right there you go.
Hey, you want to hear something even more far out there or stuff? We may get a reimagining of a Full House.
That would be amazing.
Imagine that. So you have the young Olsen sister playing the mom of twins and stuff in a Full House fashion and stuff. So, yeah, cut it out, right? That's crazy. But yeah, no. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited. So here's some things I'm excited for. So I'm excited about Agnes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's Agatha Harkness, but that remains to be seen. I think Mephisto is definitely is a part of this. Is the reason why this exists for Wanda. Right. I'm really excited to see Monica Rambeau, her character, and how the role she's going to play with this. The person who is writing the notes, who's watching this unfold. I think that's going to be a later revealed character that we already know. I have a suspicion it's someone we already know.
What do you think? Come on.
No, I'm not going to tell you.
Come on, tell us now. Then when we come back, when you're right, we can say David was right.
No, because I'll just tell you if I'm right or wrong. I have no shame in that. I'll tell you if I'm right or wrong.
Fair enough. Okay.
But yeah, I'll just say it's a character you may have seen in Thor. That's what I'll just say that.
Okay.
All right. So I'm excited. I know there's some critical reviews on this and stuff where some people found it to be boring. Some people found it to be kind of slow paced and stuff. And I'm just going to say this. Marvel, the way Marvel they have some room to kind of play and to really kind of build a story premise. And I think these 2 episodes were exactly that. They're building an actual story premise. I know those who are used to just wanting to get that action, and leave with that piece and see all the cool graphics. You're going to get that. It's going to come, but they're doing something brand new. This is a new genre of the way they're making these shows tie in with the Marvel universe, so they get some latitude to kind of play and build some story. So I think that's what they're doing. They're taking advantage of that. So just those of you who are like, it's slow, it's confusing. Give it time. I think it's going to be like one of those nice mysteries that are going to start to solve itself for you as you go forward and more and more and more. So I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if episode 3, which remind you guys, it's a 9-part episode. If episode 3 is really going to be the gotcha episode and really going to really grab those people in there and stuff, I'm willing to bet some money on that. But just be patient. It's coming. There's going to be some really cool reveals. I feel they're already kind of setting the stage for some really interesting things to happen. I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to talk about the next episodes and stuff with you guys, and just kind of go forth and share with you some of my theories and stuff on a few of the things and stuff. So, but yeah, that's it. That's your first 2 episodes of WandaVision. Again, I'll get better. I'm kind of shaking off the cobwebs and stuff, kind of getting back into this mode. I appreciate you, Shawn, for doing this with me. I'm looking forward to in the future of us adding more people.
Sure.
Conversation and stuff. I really think that's the benefit of having the Marvel Tribe show is we have multiple different people having these conversations and stuff. And we have some people in mind that we would like to bring on board, and I'm excited. I know this is gonna it's gonna do great things and stuff. And this is something that Chris absolutely wanted to continue. I know that heart of hearts, rest his soul. He's looking down and I'm hoping he's giving us the big Bayou thumbs up and stuff.
He's looking down, pissed that he can't be here to enjoy it with us. I guarantee you that, man. So, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Since we're talking about Chris, I have a story about him, and it's totally Marvel related. I got to sit with Chris when we went to see Endgame. I sat right next to him, and me not being, I'll admit it, I'm not the big Marvel guy, but Chris, huge Marvel guy, and just knows every damn thing about, like yourself. That part in that scene when Captain America reached down and picked up that hammer.
Yes.
Sitting next to Chris and his reaction, sitting on his chair and goes, yes, and he's just shaking and he's so excited. He's like, you've seen that meme of that kid shaking, like he's shaking like that. Yeah, it reminded me of Chris. He was so excited about that. And, like I said, we talked about doing this show and calling it something else, but it has to be called the Marvel Tribe. We have to call it the Marvel Tribe for Chris because Chris built this. Chris built this whole Walt's apartment with you and with us. We did this all together, and we're going to carry it on for him. So I can't thank you enough for coming back to do this, brother. And I can't wait to see where this is going to go. There are so many people that are excited about the Marvel Tribe and where it's going to go. So from all of us here at the Marvel Tribe, we hope you have a great evening. Talk to you next time. Good night.
Peace out.